tell me about some of our other events. And the one I'm really thinking of, so I started last November.
Yeah.
And my family was still moving out. And so I was kind of here by myself. And then I think it was only in the first few weeks that I was here when we did the holiday lighting. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking down Cedar City Main Street, and every tree has lights on it. There's the lights going across Main Street. It's beautiful. And on at City Hall is a custom stage where you're having performers dance, and then SUU flies in a helicopter and Santa comes barreling out.
Yeah.
I turn to one of our coworkers, Gabby Costello, who's our communications person, and I said to her, I feel like I'm in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
And then I jokingly said, I feel like I'm going to turn around and my wife and kids are just going to be there and surprise me on this holiday miracle, because I was, living in a bachelor pad, kind of moving out here. I was just so impressed by it. And maybe it was Christmas sentiment. Maybe it was my loneliness of being a bachelor after, 17 years waiting for my family for a couple months to move out. But for me, it was magical.
Yeah.
I just loved it. So tell me about it, because I know our community is really proud of that holiday lighting, and it's one of our big to-dos. So talk a little bit about it, if you know any history about it, or just whatever you want to say. I know Scott Phillips loves it, and he's a champion for that.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. It's one of my, we're in, believe it or not, we're in like the heat of organizing that event. Right?
Yeah, if you don't know a good event for our audience, a good event starts planning minimum of 6 months in advance, if not a year in advance, meaning the day the event ends, the next day you're recapping and planning the next year, right?
Right. We're already building. I mean, for the half marathon's perfect example. We're already building the registration page and doing the artwork for next year, even though this year's hasn't even happened yet.
So you're more than a year in advance.
Right. Yeah. Because a lot of runners like to book their stuff a year in advance, or, the beginning of the year. And with this, in particular, it's like you want to open registration the day that everybody, as soon as they cross that finish line, you want them to go, I want to do this again. And you need to give them the opportunity to do it again.
Right before you cross the finish line, you're like, I hate this. I'm never doing it again. You cross the finish line, they put that medal around your neck. Yep. You get an IV if you need it. I've only had to have that happen once. And then you're like, I bet I could do that again. Right? Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But so with the downtown lighting, I think Hallmark movie is probably the most uttered sentiment about that event.
Yeah.
If you took our surveys that we do every year and did one of those word clouds, where it makes like whatever word is said the most, the biggest in the middle, and then has all the other words circled around it, Hallmark movie would be at the center of that word cloud. I feel like that's most people's reaction. And there is something magical about it. I mean, I think part of it is just sort of the magic of our historic downtown area and the way that it feels being down there with the old storefronts and the old Cedar Hotel and the Boomers building and it's just something about the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, there's so much going on. It's such I don't know.
Yeah, there was a little train taking the kids around. And I don't know that happens every year, but you have Candy Cane Lane.
Exactly.
And it was the first time I tried whatever that corn dog. I'm trying to remember. What's the corn dog?
Corn Dog Company?
Corn Dog Company. That's just the name of it, right? That's why I can't even remember the name, because it's so simple. Yeah. Anyways, some hot chocolate. The hot chocolate sold out like nothing.
Yeah. And so this year's one of the things, in addition to the festivities, which includes things like we have an amazing fireworks show, a Santa showing up in a helicopter and landing right on Main Street, a live performance of dances and music that happen on a stage that's built, like you said, in front of City Hall, which is directed by Scott Phillips. Which is
there you go.
Has so much.
And there's the little changes that are happening this year,
Every
right?
year.
Okay. So tell me about some of the little changes this year that the people will find unique.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that you'll find different this year is our Christmas market. So last year we introduced a new Christmas market, and we had put it in like a tent around Candy Cane Lane is what you called it. It's that space between the Cedar Hotel and the parking garage. This year, we're actually moving that market inside into what's called the venue now, which used to be the old Cedar City Movie Theater.
Oh, yeah. So where Ganache is,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Behind them is the venue. It's
Yep.
great open space for
Great
events.
open space, yeah. They do weddings there and receptions and things like that, any kind of banquet. So they've got a nice, beautiful, renovated space in there. We're going to move that inside. We'll have food trucks again, but this year they'll be on Center Street between Main and 100 West.
Kind of where the Catholic thrift store is?
No, on the other side between the pub and the winery.
Okay, on that side.
So we'll have some of those up there.
Are you doing or somebody's doing some sort of manger scene on the other side of Center? Kind of
we
where
do a
that
nativity,
Catholic
live nativity.
Thank you.
Yep, that's
Couldn't think of
the Interfaith Alliance that helps us support that, and
that's
live
great.
animals, and they do it right outside the old Rock Church there on Center Street, between 100 East and Main Street. And the helicopter lands on the south side of the street. The biggest change this year is that market moving inside, which I think is going to be a big boon.
Yeah, a little warmer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was very cold last year.
And is this space bigger than the tent that was outside?
It's about the
relative?
same. Yeah,
Okay.
it's about the same.
All right.
And then we have, we've got strolling performers taking pictures with people. We have a face painter. We have a kids craft zone where kids can go and make a Christmas ornament. And, we're going to have a section where people can fill out cards that we're going to send to a local organization, Christmas cards for a local organization. And we'll do a canned food drive for Care and Share, and the Wood Turners Association makes a Christmas ornament that we'll sell to raise money for another organization. And it's just there's a lot. There's so much to do.
Right.
We're looking at the possibility right now. We're trying to figure it out. We're hoping to have carriage rides around the city that'll take you up Main Street and then around and down by Shakespeare Festival.
Don't get anybody's hopes up.
I know.
You may have a young man planning to propose to his significant other, and
We'll
he's
find
counting
another
on
way
those
for him
carriage
to
rides.
do it. If
Okay, all right. So you heard it here. If you're planning to propose to your girlfriend on the carriage rides and the carriage rides don't happen, contact Brandon Burk.
That's right.
He'll help you coordinate and make it part of the event. If you want to do it on stage,
That's exactly right.
maybe we should have a submission form for this.
We
are in a
definitely
college
should.
town,
we
right?
definitely should do that. Yeah. Now you want Santa to do it for you, whatever.
There you go.
know.
Yeah. Santa could bring the ring in out of his bag.
Right. Anything's possible for a small sponsorship fee.
That's right. Yeah. On those college dimes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay.